Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a great day so far. We're going to start standing today. So let's go ahead, come to your mats, come to the top of your mat. And we are going to just take our hands down to our sides. Pull the shoulders back a few times. Press down through the feet, kind of rock a little bit. Just take those toes and grab the yoga mat, pressing down through all four corners of the mat. And inhale, lengthen. So we're going to lift the belly button up like it's an elevator on the inhalation. And just pull it gently towards the spine. And keep that engaged on the exhalation. So really moving everything up. Don't hold your breath. You feel that core engaged. Then we're lengthening the spine. Inhale through the crown of your head. Exhale, let the shoulders ease away from the ears. Let the shoulder blades slide down the back. So on the inhalation, still being aware of that lifting and pulling in sensation. Gently close your eyes. Just gonna take a few breaths. Lifting on the inhalation. Gently engaging, staying engaged on the exhalation. Just feeling your body grow a little taller. And on the exhalation, making sure the shoulders are sliding down, releasing tension. Just feel any tension, just slide from your shoulders, down your torso, down your legs. Let it go through your feet into the floor. And then we'll move to Ujjayi breathing and expand through all four sides of the tummy, the rib cage. Move up to the chest. Fill up the lungs, breathe into the crown of the head. And the exhalation, again, let the shoulders ease away. Keep the core engaged. Exhale all the way to the tailbone. And then take another breath. Opening that belly even further. Feeling that up all the way and then moving up to the chest. Expand the lungs. Inhale all the way to the top of your body, top of your head, and then exhale from the top. Empty the chest, the lungs. Draw the navel in, exhale all the way. And then starting on the next inhalation, just take a few more of those. Just feeling that sensation in the belly and the chest. As you fill them up with oxygen. And then just releasing on the exhalation, the breath, releasing any thoughts, tasks, concerns for the day. And let those just slide away on the exhalation, just for a little while, just choosing to let go. And focusing on that breath will really gently bring you into the moment. Just one more Ujjayi breath. Making this one count. Exhale. And then from here, I'm going to push those shoulders up to the ears, shrug. Pull those shoulders back, stretching, broadening the chest. And exhale, just round those down. Inhale up. Exhale, round those down. Inhale up. Exhale, pull those shoulders together and down. And we'll bring the fingertips to the shoulders. And we're going to inhale up the elbows. Exhale, make a circle, bring those down. Inhale up. That lifting of the belly button, the engaging of the core. Exhale, release the arms down. Just really taking your awareness to your shoulders. Are you holding tension there? If you're holding any tension in your face without noticing it, just release the jaw, the cheek, the tongue. You can even close your eyes. And then we'll go the other direction. Inhale, round those towards the back and up. Exhale, bring the elbows down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Release. Hands to the sides. And from here, I'm going to inhale up. Reach up. Exhale, the arms down. Inhale up. Bring those hands together. Sorry, I can get the body in the picture. You know anybody that's really good at this? I'm very interested in speaking to them. Just a streaming video and tech stuff. And inhale up again. Bring those palms together. Now you can see me. And we're going to exhale and push that left hip out to the side. Feet are about hip width apart. They're still grabbing, pressing down through all four corners. We're rooted. We're lifting. And push that left hip out. Lengthen that left side of the body. One more breath. And release. Release the arms. And inhale up again. We're going to go to the other side. Push that right hip out. Let those ribs float apart. On the inhalation, still feeling that belly button rise like an elevator, and then pull in. Keeping that whole movement, that sensation on the exhalation. See if you can just bring that hip out a little bit more to the side, a little more opening through the side of the body. And release, inhale up. We're going to softly bring the hands to the back of the head and just guide the chin in towards the chest. Just lightly let the weight of the hands lengthen the back of the neck. And make sure you're not shrugging up your shoulders. That they're loose. Should be no pain, no pinching. It's gentle with the neck. Always listen to your body. It'll tell you if you're doing something that's not good for it. And release the arms down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, we'll bring that left ear down to that left shoulder. Soften. You can close your eyes. Lengthen from the tip of the shoulder up to the ear. Inhale up. Exhale, just quickly bring that chin, not quickly, slowly bring the chin to the chest, just to form breath. And inhale up. And exhale, bring that right ear down to the right shoulder. And close your eyes and take your awareness from mind's eye to the left side of the neck, the left shoulder. Mental scan of that area. Are your shoulders more tense today or looser than usual? If they're more tense, just releasing that on the exhalation. Lengthen, soften. Release, come back up. Close your eyes if they're not already closed, and we'll just take a few gentle head rolls. Just make sure you're really engaging that core, pulling up and in. Just promote stability. Want to gently roll out the neck slowly. You know, where every muscle as it lengthens and softens. And always, as always, no pinching, no pain. If there's pain, just stop. Discomforts, change direction. We're drawing those big circles in the air with the tip of the nose. Just slowly and mindfully softening. Start to bring those circles smaller. And then from here, we're going to press down through that right foot, really grab that mat with your toes. And we're going to bring our hands to heart center, find your drishti, or spot to gaze at. Going to come into tree, so that left foot beyond the ankle, the shin. Just checking with your stability if you kind of lifting, engaging here, and then just see what's working. Maybe this is comfortable day, maybe some days it's just like, nope. As always, like bamboo, just snap right back up if you bend, lose stability. So helps to really soften your gaze towards your spot or drishti. Just one more breath. It's okay if you're blowing in the breeze a little bit. Please do that. And just walk out the feet a little bit. Gonna grip with the left toes and bring the hands to heart center. Find your spot. Foot to the ankle, shin, or the thigh, not on the knee. Don't want to put pressure on that joint. Opening that knee out to the side. And release. And then from here, we're going to just take another pose to kind of challenge your stability. We're going to bring this right leg over this left leg. So you can really just stay like this, gently bend this left knee. Or if you're really, really, really keen, you can even like grab a wall and try to get that right foot all the way behind. If you can wrap around the shin, see what works for you today. And then from here, we're going to try to do it with the arms. You can just bring your hands to your hips or hands to heart center. Fall out once again, just coming back. Elevator up, pull in. And sometimes one side will just not be working. If you're really keen, you feel stable. I'm not doing it very well today, but I'm sure many of you can. Bring that right elbow inside of the left elbow. Or even come all the way around to the full eagle pose. Breathe and release. Shake everything out. Press down through that right foot. Grip. And then gently bend this right leg. Bring this left leg across. Sometimes just one side will feel much more stable. Bring the hands once again. Hips, heart center, or that left elbow inside of the right elbow. Stay here or wrap all the way around. And then once we're there, it's okay if you just have to pop right back in. Pull those shoulders down. Pressing to all four corners of that right foot. Gently bending for that strength through the right leg and through the core. And then release. So from here, we're going to inhale, up, reach. We're just going to take a gentle back bend, really engage, lift, engage, and then protecting the lower back and just bringing those palms together and then back. Pull those shoulder blades together. And you just give you a very small movement. Push those hips forward. Or maybe you want to take a little bit more of a back bend here. Don't hold your breath. And release. And we'll bring our legs apart. Toes to the edge or pointed towards the side of the mat. Bring those hands to the hips. Inhale, open the chest, gaze up, and then exhale. Slowly coming down. You can always bend the knees a little bit. Or just keep them straight. We're softening through the backs of the legs. And just letting that head just soften down. You can always take a yoga block right here to kind of grab if that helps. If you're really flexible and you can reach, you can even rest your head on the block. Make sure that you're not swaying back. So we really want the hips over, stacking the joints. And just bring those hands down to the floor. Press through those feet. Engage all the muscles in the legs. Suck up back, suck up the kneecaps. And you can bring that left hand under the head and reach up. Take a gentle twist. You can stick gaze toward the sides or up towards your hand. Or if you want, you can even grab this right ankle with that left hand. Deepen that twist. Just whatever is available to you, what feels best. Listen to your body. And exhale, release down. Switch hands. We're going to inhale up this left arm, gaze to the side, up towards the hand, and then option to grab this left ankle with the right hand. Breathe, stay connected to the breath. And then release down. Bring those hands back to the mat. And you can gently bend this right leg. Very small movement. We want the stretch in the inner left leg. So we're still pressing to the outside of this left foot. And walk these hands over towards the right. Maybe deepen the stretch. Just listen, as long as it doesn't hurt. Good stretch. Breathe. And release. We're going to walk those hands over to the other side. Press through the outside of this right foot. And deepen this if this feels okay here and not too intense. No pain. One more breath. And then I'll walk those hands back to center. You can stay here or you can reach around behind your back, interlock those fingers together, and then pull the hands towards the head. Kind of a shoulder shrug. Still staying engaged in the core and pressing to those feet, engaging every muscle in the legs. Let that head hang. Release the hands down, grab opposite elbows. You can sway a little bit from side to side. Soften the neck, we're shaking and nodding, yes, no. And then release the hands down. We'll slowly come up. Just vertebrae by vertebrae. Head up very last, always aware of any dizziness. And if you feel some, just coming back down and then even more slowly come up. Head up very last. And then from here, and bring the hands. I'm just gonna take those hips towards the front of the mat. Square the hips, find feet hip width apart. Find the distance that suits you, and we're gonna grab elbows behind the back. And just pulling down through the shoulders, and then if it feels okay, opening up a little more through the chest. You can take that gaze up at an angle. Lifting and pulling the belly button in. And release. And coming to the top of the mat, we're gonna inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down. Come down, bring those fingertips down. Come and bend the knees a little bit. Pressing to all four corners of the feet. We're gonna inhale, take a half lift, pulling up through that navel, nice long spine, gaze forward. And we're gonna exhale, bring those hands back down. And then we'll inhale, swan dive up, slowly, slowly, slowly. Aware of dizziness. Reach up, lengthen. Exhale, hands down. Then inhale up. Exhale, swan dive down. Slowly, fingers down to the mat. And then we're gonna inhale. Half lift, gaze up, pull the navel in, and then we are going to exhale, bend the knees, bring these hands down, and put some more weight into the hands as we step those feet back and come into downward facing dog, and we'll walk the dog. Alternate those heels on the mat, keep those fingers spread out, aware of those elbows locking out, take a micro bend. Soften through the low back. And then press the heels. The knees can be a little bit bent. Those heels can be a little bit off the mat. Or maybe pressed all the way into the mat. Return to the breath. Building some more heat in the body so that when we stretch, do seated stretches, we'll be able to go a little bit deeper. And release, bring those knees down. And shoulders over the wrists, knees underneath the hip points. Tabletop position, and we'll inhale, drop the belly. Pull the shoulders back, gaze forward, come to your cow, you can drop the jaw. And sometimes it'll help you realize if you're holding tension in your face. Exhale, rounding to cat, chin and tuck the tailbone. Pull that navel up, and then inhale back to cow. Those shoulder blades slide towards each other. Press down through the belly, and then exhale back to cat. Just continue to switch between the two at your own pace. Inhaling into cow, and then exhaling into cat. Feeling all those muscles in the back and the tummy. It's lengthening, stretching. Come back to a tabletop position. We'll inhale. And then exhale, press through that right heel. Soften, keep this left hip right above this knee. Just press through the hip, through the heel, or just come back and forth a few times. And then on the inhalation, we're going to take our awareness to the inner thigh and lift through that hamstring, press that heel. And always once we're there, just make sure those hips are level, hip points are level. And stay here. Option to add that left hand. Breathe. Reaching through those left fingertips, pressing through that heel, lifting with that hamstring. And engaging that core while not holding our breath. And release. Bring the knees together, lift at the feet, and then from side to side, looking over each shoulder a few times. And release, bring those knees back to hip width apart. Inhale, exhale, press to that left heel. And you can also just back and forth a little bit, softening. And then on the inhalation, awareness to the inner thigh, lift, level off the hip points. Make sure we're breathing, engaging, strengthening our back, our belly, our hamstring, and then add that left arm as an option. A full bird dog expression. Breath carries you through that pose while we strengthen and stretch, and then release. Bring those knees towards the edges of the mat, bring those big toes together, soften back, and then reach forward. And we're just gonna come all the way down, bring that forehead down to the mat. So let everything release into the mat. If it feels good, you can kind of just roll with your forehead from side to side. Sometimes it can be really good during allergy season, kind of help with congestion. And just let the arms release, the hips feel heavy, easing towards the feet. Bring those elbows closer to the head, bring those palms together, and then we're ready to pull those thumbs towards the back of the neck. Press through the elbows. And then bring those hands back down. Take a breath. On the inhalation, bring those thumbs back towards the neck. And you can just switch between the two a few times. Awareness to the shoulders. And release. Walk those hands over to the right. We're going to reach to that left. With that left fingertips, through both the left and the right fingertips, feeling that space that we're creating in the left side of the body. That left hip is releasing and heavy. And walk back to center. Deep breath. And then you walk the hands over to the left, reaching through all the fingers. Create space in the shoulder, the torso, the hip. Let that right hip soften down and feel heavy. And for this pose, just in case this is like ever challenging, you can always just take a block, kind of sit down on the block, or even two blocks if that helps at all. This is an option. Walk the hands back to center. And gently come up. We'll just kind of from side to side, just sway a little bit and gently come up. You can keep the knees wide or bring them underneath the hips, whichever feels best. Inhale up through that right arm, reach, gaze up, and then exhale. We're going to thread the needle, bring that shoulder down, reach forward, and let that shoulder melt. All the tensions just dissipating, just melting into the mat, evaporating. Check in with your breath. Soften your cheeks and your jaw. And then pull this left hand in towards the body, press up. Press down through that right palm. We're going to inhale up, full extension of the arm, gaze up towards the ceiling. And go ahead, thread the needle, bring this left arm underneath, you're gonna reach forward with the right arm. And then that left shoulder just softens and releases into the back. Nice, even breaths into the belly. And hold this right arm in, gonna press up, knees underneath the hips if they aren't already there, and then reach forward. Going to let that forehead come down towards the mat, or even touch the mat. Your shoulders should really start to be softening up by now. Just notice if you feel a difference from the beginning of class with the shoulder rolls. Are you feeling more stretched out, malleable, feeling more heat, warmth in the shoulders? And let's come up and then come to the tummy. Bring those arms into the body, take those legs together, zip them up together. Chin down to the mat. Tightening everything on the inhalation, lifting that chin, peel that chest up. Check in with your low back, engaging everything to protect it. If it feels good, lift the chin more. If you feel any discomfort in your low back, come right back down. Just listening to your body on every inhalation, see if it would feel okay or feel good to just open up that chest more, lift. And release, slide the hands together, right cheek down, bend the knees, bring them hip width apart. We'll just window wash those feet. Legs out, soften through the low back. And drop the legs. And keep them a little bit apart or bring them back together for Sphinx, just whatever helps you kind of tighten up from the waist down and feel like you're keeping your low back safe. And let's take a really gentle Sphinx pose, gazing forward. Those elbows in. Check in with the low back. Lift, gaze forward, or even lengthen through the back of the neck. Gaze down at the floor, an angle. Press through the elbows, press the forearms, engaging every muscle in the arm. And then also the legs, the glutes. Let those hips ease down into the mat on the exhalation. Inhalation, we're lifting. Exhalation, soften those hips. Stay engaged. And release, bring those hands together. Bring this left cheek down on top of the hands. Bend the knees, bring them a little bit apart and window wash those legs out. Just feel that massage on the front of the legs. Softening to the low back. And drop the legs, reach up with this right arm, roll on to the right side of your body, bend both of the legs, and then you're gonna grab the shin or the foot and just softly press into that hand. Lengthen, feel that from the hip point all the way down to the tip of the knee. Breathe. And then we're gonna release, roll to our tummy. This time we're gonna that left arm out, bend both of the legs, slide or roll over onto your left side of your body. Check in with your shoulder. That left palm flat, press into the mat. You can always let your body roll a little bit towards the mat or stay here, lengthen that left leg and keep it a little bit bent for stability, and then bring this right foot behind the knee if that's available to you. Just listening to your shoulder, your back, and release. Roll back to a tummy and just bring that right arm out. Sorry, bring this right arm out to the side. We're going to press ourselves up, bend the knees. Check in with the shoulder. Open up that right palm. You can kind of prop yourself up a little more, or let that the left shoulder come closer to the mat. And then option to bring this foot behind the knee. Even take this leg straight, a little bit bent, and soften through the back of the shoulders. And release, roll back to your tummy, lengthen this left arm. Bring that head down on top of the arm, bend the knees. And we're gonna grab the shin, ankle, the foot, and we're lengthening through the front of that right leg. Press that foot into the hand for a deeper stretch. And then release. Roll back onto the tummy. I'm just gonna reach up through the arms, point the toes. You can just rest the chin on the mat, or even the forehead. Forehead be a little better. We just want to lengthen the whole body. We're reaching through the arms, the fingertips, pointing those toes. Try to make your body longer. And release. Take a breath. Just let everything soften. And then pull those shoulders in. Press yourself up to a tabletop position. And then from here, I'm going to spread out the fingers, lengthen those legs and back into downward dog. Walk those feet up to the top of the mat. And then we're going to bend the knees. Create some weight onto those hands as we step that left foot back and come into a lunge. Make sure the heel or the ankle is underneath the knee, and then softly bring that knee back. You can even keep those toes tucked if that helps with your stability, or press top of that foot down to the mat. Always that option of moving this foot forward if you want a deeper stretch. And sometimes it's nice to take your thumb into that hip crease and like pull it back so that we're squaring those hips while feeling this length here. Bring the hands to the sides. Use blocks here if that helps. It's like it helps you with the length, get length in your spine. And just let those hips fall forward, soften forward, check in with your breath. You're still trying to lift up the belly and in. And go ahead and straighten that front leg, lengthening through the spine, lengthen through the back of the neck. Bring that nose down towards the shins, soften to the back of that right leg, to the back of the knee, toes up to the ceiling. Just take a breath. See if you can soften on the exhalation. And then let those hips release forward. Just bring those hands forward. If you're using the blocks, notice any difference in the hips. And we'll just straighten that front leg again. Keep this left hip over the left knee. Make sure you keep a nice long spine, lengthen through the back of the neck, soften even more through the back of that knee, through the calf muscle, all the way up to the hamstring. And release those hips forward. And bring those hands to the inside of the foot, heel toe that foot out to the edge. You can even take that at an angle, or you can always let that knee come out to the side. Whatever helps you release into those hip flexors. And just watch your breath. And heel toe that foot back into center. You tuck the back toes, and then kind of as we lengthen both legs, make sure those feet are hip width apart. Find the distance between the feet that works for you, or you can bring the hands down. Always the option to use blocks. I'm gonna keep that spine nice and long. Nose towards the shin. Press through those feet and try to split that mat apart. Engaging our core. And release. To bend the front knee, bring this left foot to meet the right foot. And then put weight into the hands as we step that right foot back. Make sure you bring that right foot back far enough so that you have a nice angle here. Just making sure that knee doesn't come too forward. Soften that knee down. You can take the thumb as just kind of a guide for the hips. You don't have to, just kind of a nice reminder of how we want to square those hips, and then soften forward on the exhalation. Just let them fall forward. And lengthen through the back of the neck. And now start to straighten that front leg, making any micro adjustments so that you can keep that right hip over the right knee. And keep a nice long spine, neck, or nose towards the shin. Toes up, soften through the calf, the back of the knee, the hamstring. Breathe into tight areas and soften on the exhalation. And then let those hips come forward. Again, squaring those hips, you can always just use that thumb. Pull that left hip crease back, or just do it with your mind's eye. Check in with your hips, so you're holding more tension than usual. And then straightening that front leg again, left hip over the, or right hip over the right knee. Toes up, nice long spine, hinging at the hips. And softening again through the back of the leg. Release those hips forward. And then go ahead. Bring the hand to the inside of the foot, or heel toe that out to the edge. And stay here. Take that foot out at an angle, or even you can even come to the side of the foot. Just a nice stretch to the hip flexors. So depending on how flexible you're feeling this morning, you can also just stay here and come up on block. Or there's always the option to come down on the elbows. If you're one of those ultra flexible people. Breathing into the tight areas on the inhalation, softening on the exhalation. And heel toe that foot back to center and untuck those back toes. Just go ahead and make those micro adjustments as we come up into pyramid pose. Press through the feet, make sure they're hip width apart. Square those hips. You can even kind of pull it back again through that left hip crease. We're splitting that mat apart, working on the muscles in the legs. And then release, bend this left knee, bring the hands forward. Put some weight into the hands as we bring the feet together, hip width apart, and then I'm just going to slowly bend at the knees. Maybe bring the heels up. And then from here, we're just going to slide the hands around and just come back. So not the most elegant transition, but as long as you get there and get there safely, that's the most important thing. Come to a Bacchanasa pose. Can even say it today. Wrap those hands around the feet, massage those arches. And then lengthen, lift, press those knees away, and then hinge forward. And if you think it helps, you always have the option of sitting on a cushion or blanket. If that feels better, helping you lift through the sternum, keep a nice long spine. Soften through the hip flexors again. Make sure we're not hunching. Pull the shoulders away from the ears. Inhale, lifting, pulling that belly in, keeping it engaged on the exhalation. And see if you can come a centimeter further. And that's softening in the low back. And release, come up. We're going to bring this legs in crisscross position. Inhale up. And then go ahead and bring this right hand down, lifting up and over. Maybe the elbow comes all the way down. Keep those hips attached to the mat. And pull that thumb back, open up. And softly bring this left hand down. Slide this right hand back up. And you have the option of staying in this position, or if you want to just make sure you're using your core, just bring these fingertips to the shoulder, almost like lift and twist. Lengthen, so if that feels good, or if it just helps to tent your hand behind you or flat, maybe. Just gonna lift the crown of the head, exhale, draw the navel in. Gaze over the shoulder. Inhalation, you're growing taller. Create space in between the vertebrae. Exhale. Maybe just twisting a little bit more. Getting everything moving, the tummy. It's really good for your digestion. And release, slowly unwind. Go ahead and lift up. Going to open those palms. Come to a V, exhale, bring down those elbows, lift up. It's definitely a shoulder day. And then go ahead and bring this right arm up, left hand down, reach over, stretch. Lengthen the right hip, sorry, feel really heavy as we lift and open space, create space along that right side of the body. And pull this thumb back, open up. And then release, hand down, slide the hand back, or even take those fingertips to the shoulder and you make a hook towards the back. Whatever feels the best, what helps you kind of release into that twist. Let that string in the crown of your head pull up. Exhale, drawing the navel in. Maybe twisting a little deeper. Just listen to your body. Gaze over the shoulder. Soften your gaze. Just a few inches in front of your nose. Keep up with lift that sternum lift, or keep lifting through the sternum, through the crown of the head, and then the exhalation. Once again, just twisting a little bit more and gently release, unwind. And from here, we'll bring this right leg along, bring this left foot in. We're gonna inhale the arms up, turn towards the right leg, and then hinging at the hips. Once you start to feel your back start to round, just bring the hands down, shin, ankle, foot, crossing, yoga strap. Lengthen through the back of that neck, bring the nose down towards the ankle, towards the shin. Press down through the back of that right knee, and then just take your awareness to your breath. Engaging all the muscles in the legs. Pressing gently down through this left knee. Pressing this foot gently into the right leg. Breathe into any tight areas. Lengthen the spine on the inhalation, and then exhale, soften, take that stretch a little deeper. Release, and then bring those hands back as we just change legs. Inhale, up, reach, turn, coming forward, hinge at the hips. Bring those hands down when you're ready, and from the shin, ankle, foot. Again, yoga strap, just whatever helps you lengthen to the back of this left leg. Make sure you're engaging this quad and sucking this kneecap up. Soften through the low back. Just taking a few easy breaths here. See if you can deepen that stretch. And release, lengthen both the legs. You can push those hips forward. Bring those hands out in front, walk them forward. Cross through the heels, press down through the backs of the knees. And release, walk those hands back in, bring the legs together. Bend the knees, grab the backs of the hamstrings. I'm gonna roll back to our back and grab the knees, pull down and up. Rock a little bit from side to side. Release this left leg down, press the foot. And then we're going to pull this knee towards the, rest this heel here, just on this leg. Pull this knee towards the left shoulder. Just for a few breaths. And then press that heel to the top of the left knee. And staying here, we're grabbing the back of that left hamstring. Come to that figure four, breathe into that hip. And straighten that leg a little bit, deepen that stretch, and then come back to bend that knee at a 90-degree angle. And release the leg down, right foot down. And pull this knee in, rest this heel here, grab the knee, pull it towards the right shoulder. Soften through the outer bit of your hip or the piriformis. And then press that heel in, press this left knee away, press down to the lower back. Stay there or grab at the back of that right hamstring, straighten for a bit. And then soften through the left hip. And we're going to spend a lot more time on our hips, or focus more on the hips on Monday. And release. Right foot down, left foot down. Lengthen the legs. Ankles towards the edge of the mat. Open up those palms to the ceiling. Take a big breath into the body. And release. Sink down into the mat. Close the eyes. Take another deep breath into the belly. Follow the breath. Breathing in a sense of calm and peace. Releasing, relaxing on the exhalation through the face. Let the tongue be loose. Allow those shoulders to melt. After all the attention we paid to them today, they should really feel like they just relax and melt into the mat, and then down the arms, all the way to the fingertips. Soften and widen all the muscles in the arms. And from the shoulders down the back to the hips. Let the back soften. Hips melt. Hamstrings, quads, calf muscles all release, soften, widen. Ankles, feet, toes, relax. Our whole body just surrenders into the pose. Continue to watch the breath. Breathe in a sense of calm. Release into the mat on the exhalation. And if you'd like to stay in Shavasana for a little longer, go ahead and stay for as long as you like, just bringing yourself out when you're ready. Or if you're ready right now, go ahead and just wiggle the fingers and the toes and rock the head. Taking a big breath, releasing one more time. Softly roll to the right side of the body. And then slowly press yourself up to a seated position. Bring the hands to heart center. On the inhalation, blink the eyes open into the light. Namaste. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend. As I mentioned, I'm really going to focus on the hips on Monday, and then I'm always open to whatever you see or I'm feeling up to. So just let me know. Otherwise, I hope to see you Monday. Have a great week.